Good day, BeamNG fans, police chasing enthusiasts, and Grand Marshal fans alike. I said fans twice. Welcome to episode 18 of the Grand Marshal Grand Tournament. We are here on a lovely, beautiful day on Gold Coast, and it is time for another trio of rounds in which we will find out which is the best Grand Marshal of them all. In our first position, the current points leader, tied with Police Interceptor with 12 points. We have the Mississippi State Trooper car, who has been in the tournament pretty much since the beginning, and they have always been around that first place position, sometimes holding it directly, sometimes battling with Police Interceptor for it. And yeah, maybe this will be their episode to finally break away from that massive rivalry. What do you think about that, my friend Devia?
Yeah, they always tie up, and then someone else ends up breaking the tie. I believe Interceptor will break up the tie this episode because of that dominating episode he had that one time where he won all 3 rounds. But that's just a prediction, and as you can see from the last episode, my predictions are not always right.
Potentially, yes. Police Interceptor did have an episode where they won all 3 of the rounds, and they are, as of late, the only car to accomplish such a feat. So it could technically be possible for them to pull out some of that same fire and rocket ahead of the pack. And speaking of Police Interceptor, in our second place position with some new equipment on his car still, we have, like I said, Police Interceptor currently holding with 12 points, tied with Mississippi State Trooper, and probably really wanting to break that tie now. I would imagine there's a lot of frustration being harbored as a result of being tied with Mississippi for so long. But yes, today could be his time to shine. It's a beautiful day on Gold Coast with some amazing conditions for police chasing, and he has shown in the past that he is definitely one of the best. But is he strong enough to defeat Mississippi State Trooper? There's only one way to find out. And in our third place position with a spectacular performance last episode, holding at 3 points, tied for, I think, third with JTF and Niagara, we have Toronto Police, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely incredible performance last episode, and he has definitely put himself on the radar. However, he has a lot of point standings to make up before he will be in the running to contest that first place position. In our fourth place position, who had the opposite of beginner's luck, we have the Russian police car hailing from Rainbow Six Siege. This is not what a real Russian police car looks like. It's kind of similar-ish as a few things. But anyway, yeah, so the Russian police car, who hasn't really done a whole much last episode, but that's okay because it was his first episode. He was learning the ropes and seeing what he could do. And potentially he could grab himself a few points this episode. I mean, he does have 3 chances to get them, and he potentially could get himself into the running to perhaps contest the 3-way tie that we've got going on between Toronto, Niagara, and JTF. In our fifth place position, we have the New York City Transit Police car, currently holding with 8 points, and due to the tie, is now in second place. However, he has a whopping 4 points to make up before he could potentially contest that first place position. So, yeah, he's definitely got a long way to go if he wants to challenge Mississippi and Police Interceptor. However, he has been in here since just about the beginning of the tournament, and he has a lot of experience that he could potentially use to contest that first place position.
He also currently has the second most points out of all the cars, if you consider all the ties, of course.
That is true, yes. He is in the second place position in terms of points due to the fact that Police Interceptor and Mississippi are both tied for first with 12.
So yeah, he only needs like 4 more points tied with them, which cannot be achieved in just one episode. But if he manages to pull off maybe like 3 points in a row, he has a really good fighting chance to take the lead.
That is true, yes. My good buddy Devion, he definitely would have a very strong chance if he manages to pull off what Police Interceptor did this episode and get himself a full 3 points. That would put him at 11, and that would put him only 1 point away from challenging that 2-way tie over in the first place position. In our sixth place position with 3 points, tied with Niagara and now Toronto, we have the JTF Police Car, champion of the UsernameHere Invitational. Natural Habitat is the last place positions, but hasn't really done a whole lot in the previous few episodes. He's, there's been a long hiatus. I suppose he's simply been biding his time and learning the ropes once again, which is respectable. However, the warm-up period will have to end sometime.
You know, he hasn't scored any points in a while, but he's on the chopping block for elimination unless he does something amazing in this episode, which I believe he can. He just needs to put a little bit more effort into it and stop wrecking out on the beach turn like the rest of the cars are, and then he'll break out his tie. But yeah, let's see how it goes.
And jumping into our 7th place position, replacing South Australia, we have the the Philadelphia police car, who's just doing his best New Jersey impression, but I have to say it is definitely, the livery is not the exact same. Definitely sliding into 7th place, really getting himself hyped up for this. Really getting himself hyped up to be in the Grand Marshal Grand Tournament. He has been waiting for this for a long time. He has probably watched the invitationals on the Grand Marshal channel. And now he's finally getting his chance to shine. However, he has a lot of stiff competition. He has a lot of stiff competition to defeat if he wants to have any chance of claiming that title for himself. And in our 8th and final place position, tied with JTF and Toronto, we have the Niagara Regional Police Car, who also hasn't really done a whole huge amount recently. They had a very respectable episode 15 in which they got 2 points, I think. Pretty sure. And you know, if my memory serves and my notes serve me correctly. But yeah, they had a very respectable episode 15, but episode 15 was kind of a while ago. So yeah, they definitely have proven though that the last place position is viable for getting points. Alaska, but yeah, we'll see what they're gonna do in this episode. And that is at the end of the lineup, ladies and gentlemen. Start your engines, activate your lights and sirens, fasten your seatbelts. Almost said turn on your seatbelts, because round number 55 is about to begin. And their lights are not turned on. There they go. Yep, they're getting into the police spirit, ladies and gentlemen. Police Interceptor, Mississippi, Toronto, rounding out the first 3 positions. Oh, Niagara with a very early. Whoa, Niagara's being a bit aggressive here with a very early overtake in JTF, but that could potentially be part of their plan. They could be working together, or that could be a bit of early aggression, huh?
I'm surprised how aggressive he was on like just the first turn.
Indeed, yes, that was something we've never seen before in the entire tournament as these cars round out the first cinematic corner. Police Interceptor in 2nd, Mississippi just ahead, Toronto in 3rd, Russian Police in 4th, Transit Police in 5th. I believe that is, not Toronto. Oh, that's probably Philadelphia in 6th. Yeah, Niagara in 7th and JTF in 8th. JTF exactly where he wants to be. Niagara now with an extra position. This could potentially pan out very well for both of our cars that are on the chopping block.
Yeah, it seems like Niagara really wants that lead off the tiebreaker.
That is true, yes. Niagara, Toronto, and JTF are engaged in a massive battle for 3rd place behind Transit Police. And whoever emerges victorious from that battle, Russian Police challenging Toronto for a bit of a a bit of an overtake, my bad. But unsuccessfully manages to do so. JTF looking to maybe contest Niagara a little bit for that position, but who is he kidding? JTF very much enjoys being in that 8th place position.
Looks like the pack is still pretty close together. No one has really spread out yet. Oh, it seems to be a wreck around here.
Oh dear, this is a massive wreck. Philadelphia, Niagara, JTF goes into the forest. Transit Police emerges victorious from that wreck and will be maintaining their positions with JTF now in the, like I said, forest.
JTF is really not having a good round so far. He's been passed, been wrecked. And, you know, who knows what's going to happen next.
That is true, yes, but you have to remember JTF thrives in the 8th place position, so that could potentially work to his advantage.
Oh, Interceptor runs wide.
Overshooting the long straight just a little bit. There's a bit rocky, and now our cars are beginning to reach the beach turn.
Let's see if the beach turn actually holds up with the new shipping container in the way.
Indeed, yes. This shipping container may help these cars massively. Mississippi makes it through. Police Interceptor hits the container. Transit Police, Russian Police hits the container. That's not Transit, that's Toronto, idiot. Toronto moves ahead. Transit Police hits the container. Niagara pits Transit Police. Look at that. Transit Police recovers from it. Philadelphia moves around, and Niagara moves ahead again. And this shipping container is definitely doing its job and its intended purpose. Yes, that's beautiful. We should have added that, like, what episode is this? 18 episodes ago.
Anyways, Mississippi has the most well-conditioned car out of all the Grand Marshals, because the rest of them just hit the shipping container pretty hard.
That is true, yes. The shipping container is now doing its intended purpose. However, there is some major damage to these cars. However, they are not stuck on the beach turn like they have been in the past.
Oh,
Toronto
Toronto's
is
got a
third
pretty
behind.
fresh car.
That is true. Yes, Toronto did not hit the beach turn shipping container, so Toronto's car's in a very good position. Transit Police is not having a great day though, and here's Philadelphia as well. Who
Oh,
managed to
he
get around
wrecked.
that. JTF screws up the beach turn anyway. Poor JTF.
Yeah, he's really not having a good episode so far. We'll see if that luck changes soon.
JTF is having a really bad day. We should probably pull him out of that at some point. Looks like Transit Police's car is a bit busted as well. They're not going as fast as they could be. That could potentially work to their advantage. I don't know what I'm looking at. Oh, it's a mirror. I figured it was a mirror.
First 3 positions have been like pretty stable so far. Oh, there's a spin out.
Yes, Russian Police spinning out. Looks like Transit Police just about manages to
What
get
an
around
overtake! Oh my god.
that incline turn, and that was a major overtake. Transit Police bouncing around a little bit as well. So yeah, Russian Police having a bit of a problem. It looks like Philadelphia is now ahead of Transit Police with Niagara just in front of them. Like we will be helping Russian Police now. We should probably get JTF out of the mix as well.
Oh, JTF's car is dead, so like no.
Oh, that's unfortunate. How are things going over at the runner? Looks like the runner going down the long straight. Looks like followed by closely by Mississippi Police Interceptor and Toronto, rounding out that first, second, and third place position. And here we go on the long turn once again. Will Police Interceptor screw this one up? No, looks like they are hot on the tail of Mississippi, really wanting to break that tie between these two cars. But we are about to reach the beach turn again, and with JTF here as an obstruction, this could prove to be a pretty interesting state of affairs. Yep. Oh, Police Interceptor hits JTF. Goes under JTF. Mississippi screws it up. Toronto moves ahead as well onto the beach and hits Mississippi. It looks like Police Interceptor will be surviving that wreck and taking that first place position. Mississippi hot on their tail now. Here comes Niagara hitting the shipping container as well. Philadelphia Police massively wrecks out, and that leaves just about Transit Police, who I don't know where he is. Looks like Toronto will be recovering as well. So Toronto, Mississippi, and Police Interceptor battling fiercely for that point this episode. Here comes Transit Police as well.
Oh, we still get Interceptor to contest the runner, but of course he's the fleet car, so it's gonna make it much harder for him to catch up.
That is true, yes. Police Interceptor remains the fleet car as he goes to the cinematic corner with Mississippi hot on his tail. Toronto Police in third as well. Looks like Russian Police has been wiped out somewhere. That's unfortunate for him. Transit Police making it back to the starting position. JTF wrecked on the road. Philadelphia survives that absolute mess. Niagara does not, though, unfortunately for them.
Oh, he's not having a good time making it around this track.
Yeah, it looks like his steering is a bit broken. Is he missing a wheel?
I think he's missing more than just a wheel. Okay, they make it around the... I don't know what the incline again, and then they should be passing Russian Police real soon. I think he wrecked in the forest.
Indeed, yes. I believe that was the forest where he wrecked. Police Interceptor still hot on his tail, but the runner is going ahead. Really doesn't want to be caught. Mississippi with a bit of distance to make up. Just now getting onto the cliff turn just about there. And yes, Toronto just behind them with a vengeance, looking to break that three-way tie for third.
It looks like Russian Police should be around the corner here. I could hear his sirens.
Potentially, yes. I'm not sure where exactly Russian...
Oh, found them.
There. Yep, they're there. I wonder how they managed to wreck there. Huh, it's unfortunate for them.
Interceptor's car is not really having a good time right now.
Interceptor's car does have some significant damage, yes, indeed. He hit the beach turn, I believe, twice. He also ran right into JTF and went under JTF, in fact. Do you think he's gonna make the next couple corners? Because like he seems to struggle on like at the end of the long straight. That is a good question. Could this be the end of Police Interceptor's participation in this run? It looks a bit iffy right here. Hits the grass a little bit, but manages to recover from it. And the runner is now about to arrive at the beach turn once again.
Oh my god, it's a mess here.
Yeah, where the shipping container is basically gone and JTF is here. Is the runner? The runner is gonna screw up the beach turn for once. That doesn't tend to happen. Police Interceptor will do the same, but the runner recovers from this. The runner kind of recovers. Looks like Police Interceptor might just have the point in the bag unless someone else arrives here to take the point, like Mississippi, who gently nudges the runner. And now looks like there could potentially be a head-on collision. There's Toronto as well. All of them missing the runner. So who is left on the track as the runner struggles to get back on the road?
I think the runner's still going. He still has a little bit more left in him. But we got...
The runner is still going. The runner deciding to do his best Grand Marshal impersonation and screw up the beach turn. Must have been pretty fun for him. Who is here to capitalize? Who is here to capitalize on this?
Absolutely no one.
No one.
Does the runner need help? The runner definitely needs help. JTF is kind of like
screwing him over. The runner makes
it
back on the road, trying to push away the wreck of JTF. JTF will be moved to the side just about, and Mississippi is still in the fight. Police Interceptor wrecked Toronto down there on the beach turn, doing their best to make it back, and it looks like this will yet again be another battle between Toronto and Mississippi. And Police Interceptor.
Let's see if Interceptor get back on the road. He seems to be struggling a
Interceptor
little
is
bit.
having a very bad day. It looks like his car is still running, though, so that is good for him. JTF will be moved to the side, and the runner is now having a steady cruise.
Oh, whoa, this is a wreck.
Toronto manages to smash Mississippi. Don't even know what happened to Mississippi. It looks like his car just quit on him. Maybe, I don't know, but Toronto smashes Mississippi out of the way. Toronto is now in the primary pole position for this. And Police Interceptor hits a pole, and it looks like Mississippi also hits a pole. Could this be Toronto's round to take, where he can break that three-way tie? Because it looks like he might be the only car left. However, his steering is not working with him at all, and it looks like he is hitting the trees as well.
He's gonna hit a tree, I swear. Yeah, I called it.
He's leaning to the right. All of these cars are leaning due to their busted steering, but they are still going with everything they've got. This could be Toronto's round to lose. Transit Police busted. Philadelphia busted. Everyone is busted here, ladies and gentlemen. The runner is pretty much the only one with a car in good condition.
He still runs. He still runs.
Like Philadelphia is still running, but just barely. I don't know how they're going to manage to accomplish anything with one tire. They're also going the complete wrong direction. Missing one tire, by the way, I meant.
Oh, maybe a head-on collision. It depends who gets to him first.
Potentially, yes. Whoever gets to the runner could potentially get a head-on collision and take this round by storm. Toronto drifts into the forest. Good for style points, but not really good for actually, winning the round.
It's a race to see who gets to him first, the Toronto or the person head-on collision.
Indeed, yes. It is a race between Toronto and anyone who could potentially be claiming themselves a head-on collision. Is there anyone available to do that? Philadelphia, I believe, is going the complete wrong direction, so I don't know. There might be no way of knowing. Oh, I saw someone at the beach turn.
Oh my god, he's having a horrible time.
Toronto is having a very bad time with that steering. Well, someone next to Transit, please. Philadelphia is going ahead.
Oh my god, roadblock.
In the back. These cars have no steering. That is very unfortunate for them. He's going to hit a pole again. Or not. Up. Or yes. His light bar falls off. Yeah, it looks like the name of the game for this round is not having steering, and Toronto is right now managing to be the only car that's going to keep going without any steering. Every one of the others are just hitting poles and whatnot. Philadelphia's wrecked, Police Interceptor's wrecked, Mississippi's wrecked, everyone's wrecked except Toronto, who's probably just going to be wrecked because of that bad steering.
Oh, his car's dead. Yeah, only Toronto's the one still standing. Oh, never mind.
Or not. Never mind, plot twist. Looks like some resets, honestly, might be in order here.
Who do you think deserves a reset?
That is a good question. I don't know. Toronto going on ahead. There's Transit Police up there. Toronto screaming on ahead, back up the incline. He potentially is going to hit a tree. That's unfortunate for him. It's really hard to accomplish anything when you have no steering. That's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, but which cars deserve a reset? Give me a couple names.
That is a good question. I would say Toronto deserves a reset. Russian Police deserves a reset. Transit deserves a reset. Maybe JTF Niagara as well. Philadelphia.
JTF.
Oh, there goes the runner along the town. So yes, looks like JTF's car somehow managing to come back. Some of these cars turning around as well. Here's Philadelphia. Runner screams by Philadelphia. They're going to be reset here as well. I hope Niagara getting reset in addition to that. And the runner's now moving the opposite direction along the track. Yes, some of these cars are now back in the fray. Some of these cars are now back in the fight. The runner is going the opposite direction. Now is the perfect time for some of these cars to finally secure that point they need. Transit and Russian Police hit each other just a little bit, kind of getting on each other's nerves. But what is going on with the runner now? That is a good question. Here is the runner. Where is the runner, in fact? The runner is going around the forest, and there is no one here at the moment to get a head-on collision. Who is turning around the bus turn, we used to call it? Well, potentially no one. It looks like they're all going the correct way around the track. So, I don't know.
Oh, someone's on him.
It looks like Toronto is actually here at the runner. Didn't even realize this. Toronto's making contact with the runner. Will be pit maneuvering the runner, potentially spinning the runner out, trying to do their best to get that point, but the runner is still going, and Toronto needs to get themselves a reverse 180 if they're going to have a chance of taking the point away from Niagara, who could make the head-on collision, ladies and gentlemen. Gets struck in the rear fender, though, by Philadelphia, who really wants that point for himself as well. looks like the runner is still going. Toronto with an admirable performance. Niagara with a bit of a head-on collision, but not quite. It looks like the runner might be down. This could potentially be the end of the round.
Looks like it.
It looks like that's it. That could be the end of the round. Very respectable performance from Niagara, Toronto, and Philadelphia. And here comes Russian Police, who's, wow, had a bit of a bad day. Don't know how he managed to look like that, but yeah, he's had a bit of a bad day. He will be he will be running up to strike Niagara Regional Police. Yeah, he's looking to be a little bit upset, but he's making contact with the runners. I guess that counts for something, right?
Yeah, so it looks like Niagara Regional Police will be breaking the tiebreaker. Pretty unexpected, but you know, last place position might mean something nowadays. And yeah, now let's look over to the other cars.
Indeed. Looks like this round pretty much belongs to Team Canada. However, Niagara will be emerging victorious here between that fight. We have Toronto, who once again proved to the fire and proved that they could defeat Mississippi and Police Interceptor in a head-on fight. But unfortunately, they were not able to head on the runner, which is very unfortunate for them. Philadelphia Police, our newcomer this episode, kind of performed a little admirably. He was there for the final pileup and the final stop of the runner, so didn't translate into a point though, so a bit unfortunate for him. However, we do have 2 more chances. Russian Police, I just gotta say, it wasn't really his round today either. He's taking some time practicing, but I hope he'll be able to grab some points in the future. Mississippi, our current champion, tied with Police Interceptor, who performed admirably, but was actually just completely and utterly defeated by Toronto this episode. So yeah, congratulations to Toronto. Mississippi, though, still holding with 12 points. So they definitely have that first place position secured. However, they're going to have to step up their game if competitors like Toronto, Transit, or others potentially are going to start challenging them for those points. Police Interceptor, pretty much the same thing. They fought aggressively this episode, but round, but it unfortunately just did not translate into a point for them. However, they do still have that first place position secure, except for Mississippi, and they will have to also step up their game if they want to contend with some of the emerging competition, such as Toronto. Ooh, Transit Police and JTF. Looks like they had a really bad day over on this turn just before the long straight. Don't know how Transit Police managed to wreck here, but he might have had bad steering, and JTF is just completely flipped over and upside down. Very unfortunate performance for him.
And that should be all the cars.
Indeed, yes.
So yeah, looks like Niagara will be getting the point for this round, and we will now clean everything up and move on to the next round.
And welcome to our lineup for round number 56. We are going to be jumping right into it, skipping the descriptions of the cars. Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts, start your engines, activate your sirens, turn on your lights, because round number 56 is about to begin. Looks like the Barstow having a little bit of a taunt, almost to say good luck, boys. Almost to say good luck, boys. We have Mississippi Police Interceptor, Toronto, Russian Police, Transit Police, JTF, Philadelphia, and Niagara, rounding out our lineup for round number 56.
It looks like pretty standard so far. No one's overtaken yet, which is quite different than last round.
Indeed, yes. Pretty standard round here, and it looks like Niagara will not be pulling the same thing that they did in the previous round. As I can see them in the back there. Mississippi Police Interceptor going on ahead. Toronto in third. Russian in fourth. Oh, JTF challenging Transit for that fourth place position, but will not be getting it. Niagara actually bumps Philadelphia in the back as well, so it looks like a bit of a contestation there. I don't even know if that's a word. Contesting there in the back for that seventh place position.
So yeah, let's see if anyone wants to make another tie for third place with 4 points, with either JTF or Toronto scoring a point in this round.
Indeed, yes. JTF is definitely in need of a point, but so is Toronto, because Toronto needs to get themselves ahead of the pack to start challenging Transit, and Transit definitely needs points as well. Transit hasn't really scored in quite a while. They're pretty safe from elimination, I would say, but they haven't scored in quite a while. So they definitely need some points to keep themselves on the board and get themselves closer to that first place position.
They're approaching a long straight. Let's see if anyone really gets to gain some ground on him.
Runner now moving ahead to the long straight. Mississippi and Police Interceptor are hot on his tail, followed by Toronto looking to make something happen. Russian Police in fourth. Looks like JTF had some problems on the force turn over there, so Transit Philadelphia and Niagara will be rounding out the lineup over there. And it looks like JTF is once again in last place. But you once again have to remember that is where JTF thrives. Here comes, I'm not sure who that was. Might have been Philadelphia. Might have been Transit screaming. No, that's Transit. So is that mean Philadelphia? No, that's Philadelphia. So who? Oh, Russian Police, idiot. Niagara now in, I believe, 7th as they scream across. So it looks like we are now going to be hitting the beach turn. See who manages. Oh, Police Interceptor strikes the container immediately. Toronto moves ahead. Russian Police smashes Police Interceptor in the back. And it looks like now Toronto and Mississippi will be fighting for that position in the front. There's another pileup here. Philadelphia and Niagara now hitting the beach turn as well. There is a 4-car pileup here, ladies and gentlemen. Here
About to be 5-car pileup.
Here comes JTF, now a 5-car pileup, and where is Transit Police? Oh, the runner's now being pit maneuvered by Mississippi over here, just about near the front. Toronto is probably going to be hitting them in the back, as there is Toronto's strike in the back, just about a T-bone, but the runner is still going. The point has not yet been awarded. Mississippi hitting him on the side. Looks like Toronto and Mississippi are working together almost to defeat the runner here in this round 56.
I believe the runner should be free because it's not like 2 cars to get a point, and we'll see which.
2 cars can and have gotten points before.
But it's not really like what we're
Doesn't
going
make
for.
good competition if Mississippi and Toronto make an alliance.
Yeah.
Potentially, though, this could be an interesting alliance, in fact, if they actually do manage to do that and get themselves both a point, because Toronto needs to get ahead and Mississippi needs to break the tie between Police Interceptor. This could be a very interesting alliance of convenience if they do manage to both secure a point for themselves instead of face off against each other.
Seems like they both really want this point right here. They're not letting the runner go.
That is true, yes. They are in dire, severe need at this point. This Mississippi is now T-boning the runner and pushing him along the road. Looks like he may break free in a second. Toronto hits Mississippi at the back and frees the runner almost. These cars almost working together and against each other at the same time because they both desperately need that point. That runner is trying to escape with everything he can, but I'm not sure if he'll manage to do it.
Let's see if anyone else is here to catch for. Oh my god, what a pile up here.
There is a massive pileup over at the beach turn, and the only car that's currently missing is Transit Police. Don't know where he is. Oh, here he is. It looks like he had a really bad time here over on the long turn. Wonder what happened to him. I think we can call this round a tie, I would say. What would you think, my friend Devion? I wouldn't mind giving it to Toronto and Mississippi because they both did kind of work together to stop the runner.
That is true. If you would like to, yes, we can give points to both cars, although it might it'll create a tie and break a tie at the same time.
That is true, yes. It will create a tie and break a tie, but ties definitely are good for competition, and it would be very good for for viewership for the audience. I bet they would love that.
Okay, so looks like
audience votes now. Vote now. This is a joke. This is pre-recorded.
Okay, so like we're gonna have both of these cars awarded a point, Toronto and Mississippi, and we will take a look at the rest of the cars.
Indeed, yes. So 5 out of our 8 cars wrecked on the beach turn, including the legendary Police Interceptor, who kind of fell short that round of breaking that tie. Niagara, Philadelphia, Russian Police, and JTF are all now completely busted here at the beach turn. That shipping container has done some good work, but some days it doesn't do very good work at all. Yeah, very unfortunate for them. In addition, it's also very unfortunate for Transit Police, who, like, right as I say, he needs points. He just ends up wrecking somewhere else, like, away from all the other cars entirely. He's even got one of his tires under him. Looks like he had a bad day on this particular long turn, so that's very unfortunate for him.
And that seems to be all the cars.
Indeed, yes. So congratulations to Mississippi, who has at long last, through an alliance of convenience, managed to break that tie between himself and Police Interceptor, now in the first place position with 13 points. Toronto now with 4 points as well, using that alliance of convenience to move ahead of his own tie. Both of these cars together making an alliance to break their respective ties and move ahead in the pack. This is a very interesting development.
So yeah, we're gonna clean up all these cars and move on to the final round of this episode.
And welcome to the lineup for round number 57 of the Grand Marshal Grand Tournament. There's a lot of cars here that definitely need to make it or break it here, or they could face the chopping block. In our first place position, both literally and in terms of the points, we have the Mississippi State Trooper car who through an alliance of convenience with Toronto has managed to rocket himself ahead of that two-way tie with Police Interceptor. Congratulations for him. He could potentially cement his lead here in the final round, or he could stay comfortable with where he is. What strategy do you believe would be the best for Mississippi to take here in this final round?
I think he just gotta make sure Interceptor doesn't score a point because of course he could go for another point and ensure that it doesn't get tied again. But like if he just plays it safe and makes sure Interceptor doesn't score anything, I think that's a much smarter strategy.
That is true, yes, indeed. It could serve him very well to ensure that Police Interceptor does not manage to get himself a point here in this episode. He has the first place lead, and all he needs to do is maintain that. An extra point would essentially be a bonus for him. And speaking of that first place lead, now in second place, Police Interceptor with 12 points, now down one behind Mississippi State Trooper. So yeah, Police Interceptor must be really feeling the heat now, as he has for pretty much this entire episode. We are once again in this position where Police Interceptor is just behind Mississippi State Trooper in terms of the points. He'll need to definitely step up his game and not screw up the beach turn in order to grab himself a point and put himself back on the board.
Yeah, he's not really doing that well in this episode because first of all he wrecked on the in the town area, as well wrecked on the beach turn. He hasn't really been with the runner at the end like the past couple of rounds.
That is true, yes. Police Interceptor has almost kind of been falling apart for the last 5 rounds. Toronto and Mississippi have almost been the major frontrunners recently in this tournament, and Police Interceptor has just been kind of falling short. So yeah, very unfortunate for him. He'll definitely need to step up his game because he's got a lot more stiff competition now, especially if Toronto and Mississippi are now forming a potential alliance of convenience. And speaking of Toronto, now with 4 points, using an alliance of convenience to break that three-way tie, Toronto is now in, I think, 4th place technically. Oh wait, no, he's tied for Niagara actually. Yeah, okay. So he is now yeah, he is now tied with Niagara in that 4th place position with 4 points. And he broke one tie and then immediately found himself in another one. So yeah, potentially he could use that alliance of convenience to break that tie and move on ahead in the pack. Or he could come out guns blazing, essentially, and defeat both Police Interceptor and Mississippi like he did before in order to, either way, secure the points he needs to get ahead of the mid-pack. And our 4th place position, not really doing a whole too much, having some really bad luck in those previous rounds. We have the Russian police car from Rainbow Six Siege, who I would say definitely needs to make something happen. And I would be lenient enough to not put him directly on the chopping block because, it's his 2nd episode. But 3rd episode, he'll be at risk unless he manages to win something here today or perhaps the next episode. And in our 5th place position, who has had 8 points for so long, had some bad rounds recently, definitely needs some more points. We have the champion of the East Coast tournament, the Transit Police Car. So, what do you think about his strategies here, Devion?
Yeah, I think all he has to do is figure out how to score points like the rest of these guys because like he hasn't scored one in a while, and that's might kind of allow the others to catch up, and that's definitely not good for him.
Indeed, yes, he has been holding with 8 points for quite a while, but I'm still waiting for the time when he brings it up to 9 points. Definitely needs to step up his game and get himself a few more points because that'll put him in the running for 1st place, and it'll also cement his lead over some of the other cars, such as Toronto, which could be hot in his tail. In our 6th place position, we have the JTF car, which he's the champion of being in last place. He won the UsernameHere Invitational in a landslide victory. He's not really been feeling it. I don't think he's really had it in the past few episodes, so he could potentially be at risk. Here. And in our 7th place position, we have our newcomer, the Philadelphia Police Car, who has wrecked a whole bunch of times. Not really won any rounds. Unfortunate for him. But it's his 1st episode, so hopefully he'll be able to bring some heat in the final round. And in our 8th place position, now safe from elimination, I would assume, We have the Niagara Regional Police car with 4 points, currently tied for Toronto, and looking to make something happen here in this round to move on ahead of Toronto and pretty much break the Canadian tie that's going on here. Both Canadian cars have 4 points, and both of them are probably looking to break that tie. In any event, that is the end of our lineup, ladies and gentlemen. Fasten your seatbelts, activate your sirens, turn on your lights, and start your engines because round number 57 is about to begin. The runner once again giving the cars a nice old good luck. Mississippi in first, Police Interceptor in second, Toronto in third, Russian Police moving ahead in fourth, Transit Police in fifth, JTF in sixth. Really needs something to happen here. Philadelphia in seventh, and Niagara in eighth, rounding out our lineup for the beginning of this final round.
It looks like they're still relatively close to a runner. No overtakes yet.
Indeed, yes. So a lot of these cars may need to take some risks here. Otherwise, they could potentially be eliminated either now or in future episodes. It is definitely a critical round for a lot of these cars. But looks like JTF starts there in sixth and did not do any overtakes. So just ignore that. I thought they overtook someone.
JTF really needs to score points right now, or else he's gonna be eliminated. He's gotta work really hard.
Yeah, JTF definitely needs to score points, or at least do really good, or he may be eliminated here. And that would be very unfortunate, considering JTF is honestly a tiny bit of a fan favorite of mine because he won the Invitational that I did. So that'd be unfortunate. That'd be pretty unfortunate to see JTF go if he does.
It looks like there's a little gap between the runner and the Grand Marshals right now.
It is true, yes. A little bit of distance to make up between the runner and Mississippi. Police Interceptor in second, Transit in third. JTF looking to challenge Transit Police, but not managing to do it. Might lose a position to Philadelphia. Not managing to keep that sixth place position, so that could be good for them.
Let's see any cars wipe out in the forest.
Rounding out the forest turn now. A lot of these cars sometimes don't really do well in the forest turn. Looks like Transit Police might have some trouble. Looks like he drifts a bit, but he will be okay. JTF is also okay here. Philadelphia moving on ahead. Niagara moving ahead. Looks like JTF will lose a position to Philadelphia and maybe to Niagara. JTF and Niagara now battling for that 7th place, and JTF will win out in the end.
Yeah, but JTF is not really having a good time at the moment. He really needs positions, and he just lost one in the forest turn.
That is true, yes. On one hand, JTF does need positions. That Mississippi and Police Interceptor scream over the jump. There goes Toronto, I think, and there goes Russian Police, I believe, as well. There's Transit Police in the 5th place position, screaming over the jump. There's Philadelphia as well. There goes JTF, and there goes Niagara.
They're approaching the beach turn again.
The rear bumper, my bad. The runner now moving ahead through the beach turn. Will Mississippi. Police Interceptor almost hits Mississippi. It looks like Toronto and Russian Police will hit the shipping container. That was some sabotage from Police Interceptor, just moving the shipping container ahead, and there's Mississippi wiped out as well. There's Police Interceptor and JTF. Looks like Toronto will still be moving. There's Niagara. And where's Transit Police as Police Interceptor moves ahead to stop the runner pretty much uncontested? That was a pretty smart, if a bit sneaky from Police Interceptor, hitting the shipping container just right to move it slightly towards the road so that it would cause these cars to crash directly into it.
Oh, looks like he got wiped out.
Busted on the forest turn here again.
The long straight.
Busted on the long turn, yeah. Transit Police definitely having a bad day there. Looks like Police Interceptor will now be in the 1st place position, followed not very closely by Mississippi in the 2nd place.
But his car's in pristine condition.
His car is actually in very good condition as well, so he could potentially catch up and challenge Police Interceptor for such underhanded tactics.
Oh, Toronto's not having a good day.
Indeed, Toronto is having a bad day as well, but he is still here in the 3rd place position, followed closely by Philadelphia and JTF in the 5th place position. These cars are in very poor condition. Niagara and Russian Police are still busted around somewhere.
Yeah, looks like Mississippi has the best chance of all of them to catch him right now in terms of car condition, because he completely avoided the beach turn while everybody else piled up into it.
Indeed, yes, the beach turn did not get to Mississippi this time, and he has a very good condition car here. But yeah, what do you think of Police Interceptor's very sneaky, sabotagey tactic here? That was somewhat unethical almost.
Oh, looks like overtake right here.
Oh yeah, could be an overtake. Yes, Toronto's having a bad day, and here's JTF now in 3rd with a poor condition car. Toronto's steering is busted yet again.
And JTF might catch up to him again. I'm not sure if he passed him yet.
JTF could potentially catch up. Yes, Toronto's having a really bad day, and I don't know where Philadelphia is either. There's Philadelphia. Looks like they're busted over here in the forest at the bottom of the incline, and where is the runner now?
Still being pursued by Interceptor right behind him. Second time on the beach turn though.
Right behind the runner, and here comes the beach turn again. The runner.
Oh,
will
whoa,
have,
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Oh,
whoa!
Niagara's still just about in the fight. Tries to hit Police Interceptor, but misses it just barely. Niagara didn't have it in him to hit the runner right there on the beach turn. That would have been incredible. But Niagara is now in second place because they've managed to finally recover, and now they're going to challenge Police Interceptor. Mississippi hits Russian Police on the beach turn, so it looks like Mississippi might be out for this round.
His car's still fine though. Oh my god. Oops. Okay. There we go.
Mississippi will be recovering from the beach turn due to some assistance from our from one of our commentators here. Yeah, so Police Interceptor of Toronto moving ahead as well, but he's got a lot of ground to make up. The runner might even lap Toronto. And here's JTF, who really needs a point. Will he strike the beach turn here and potentially crash and destroy his chances of continuing in this tournament? He may very well. So, yes, JTF is almost going to create a roadblock here, moving the shipping container to block the entire road. This potentially could cause some very major problems for some of these cars.
Oh, he's gonna wreck.
Like now is the time to make it or break it. Toronto going the wrong way. Toronto desperately needs to turn around, and his steering is completely destroyed.
Wait, he made a roadblock basically. Two roadblocks.
Toronto made a roadblock, and the runner is now coming around to the cliff turn. This is almost anybody's round, ladies and gentlemen. I've never seen a round quite like this.
And he's still going. Niagara's still going after creating that almost roadblock earlier.
Niagara is still going in that second place position. The runner might be about to hit Toronto's roadblock. Where is the runner now?
Yeah, he's not there yet. It takes a little bit.
Runner's not quite there, yes.
Mississippi might catch up.
Closely by Police Interceptor. Niagara in second as well. Mississippi has a lot of ground to make up if they want to make it. The runner may have to get through Toronto and eventually the beach turn, because the beach turn is now completely obstructed by that shipping container.
Let's see if Toronto's gone moving yet. I think he's completely dead. Yeah, it's gonna be right smack in the middle.
Gone, so yeah, this could be a bit of a wild card that could screw up the runner or potentially screw up some of the competitors. If the runner hits Toronto, that might make it Toronto's round.
Oh, he's gonna dodge him.
Looks like the runner will potentially dodge.
Oh, he missed him.
The runner will dodge. Yes, Police Interceptor is going to be doing almost the same thing. Police Interceptor stops next to Toronto. What are you doing, Police Interceptor? That is not what you need to be doing right now. It looks like the runner will just about be uncontested unless there is someone to head on him.
Looks like there's a problem with his wheel. He picked up a bit of Toronto on his way.
That is true. Yes, the runner picked up a bit of Toronto, and there's now a problem with his wheel, and the runner is now a bit uncontested, but he will have the beach turn to contend with.
I don't know if he's gonna make the corner though, with all that damage on his wheel.
That's true. Yes, he's got a lot of damage, and there's no way of knowing if he'll be able to steer around the shipping container that JTF essentially put on the track. And what is the runner going to do here? Is the runner going to maneuver through this and get along the left side? Looks like he will hit the shipping container just barely, but he is now stopped and he is moving on ahead. So, unfortunately for JTF, it looks like that will...
I'm gonna try to get the bumper off of him.
All right.
Oh, whoa. That was not a bumper. That was a... I don't even know what that is.
It's like a fender. And yes, the bumper has been removed from the Barstow's, from the runner's wheel well. Looks like Mississippi is stopped here as well. Niagara, looks like Toronto blocked everyone except Police Interceptor. Where is Police Interceptor now?
Oh, I don't know actually. Oh, he wrecked.
Oh, Police Interceptor hits the... Police Interceptor adds himself to the beach turn roadblock, and now Mississippi and Niagara are pretty much the only cars left here in this tournament. Someone needs to turn around and get themselves a head-on collision.
But he still runs though. He's just a little bit stuck.
That is true. Yes, Police Interceptor still runs. He's just stuck. JTF was...
No,
JTF,
don't hit
that was
it.
a pretty smart move to try and create a roadblock.
God.
Mississippi hits the beach turn rock. Unfortunate for him.
What are they doing?
Police Interceptor hits the rocks over there and flips over. Niagara hits the rocks as well. This beach turn is about one of the most murderous things in the entire tournament.
Does he still run? Nope, not anymore.
Police Interceptor looks like they do not run. Mississippi is just barely in the fight, and just about everyone is gone except for the runner.
Does he still run?
Niagara's on his side. JTF and Russian Police are making a roadblock. Toronto doing the same. Transit Police in the forest. There is basically no one except Mississippi to stop the runner.
Oh, not anymore, I guess.
Not even Mississippi anymore. Who hits? What did he even hit? He had, like, he was missing a tire. He probably hit the rocks.
Well, his car's dead. Looks like no one's gonna contest the runner.
Looks like no one is here to contest the runner, and yes, it looks like that is definitely the end of the first part of this round. Everyone has unfortunately wrecked.
So which cards do you think deserve a reset?
Honestly, how about all of them? It's the final round. People really need points. All of them.
Runners approaching the cliff turn. See what these guys
The
do.
runner is approaching the cliff turn. All of the cars now have been reset. So here's Mississippi Police Interceptor, Toronto, Russian Transit. I think 5th is JTF, Philadelphia, Niagara. All of the cars are now back, but they have a lot of ground to make up if they're going to go catch that runner.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the runner's basically like in pristine condition. No one hit him really.
Indeed, yes. The only damage to his car is the fact that his right bumper's loose, and that's only because you pulled the fender out of his wheel.
Yeah, let's see who gets to him first. Oh, is that an overtake?
Oh, that's interesting. Toronto and JTF are not supposed to be next to each other. I wonder what happened there. JTF is like almost in... Wait. What overtake is this? How does the lineup look? Looks like is that Toronto in 5th? Did Transit Police get an overtake? Yeah, looks like Transit Police is now in 3rd. Mississippi Police Interceptor, Transit Police now in 3rd. Toronto in 4th. JTF in 5th, I think. Philadelphia and Russian Police are... Where are they? It's kind of hard to tell. They're like all white. There's Russian Police in 6th. Philadelphia in 7th. And Niagara in 8th. It's a little difficult to tell which cars they are from a distance because they're kind of like... Most of them are all white. So yeah, looks like we got a few interesting overtakes here. Russian Police losing a bunch of ground to JTF, and Transit Police is now in the 3rd place position. We definitely need ourselves some head-on collisions over here. We haven't seen that in quite a while.
Oh, there's a wreck
Oh,
here.
looks like Police Interceptor is going to wreck out here. Looks like there's a massive pileup over on the forest turn, and who will make it through? Toronto will make it through. Transit Police losing all those positions he needs. Is that JTF in 4th now? Transit Police in 5th. Russian in 6th. Philadelphia in 7th. And Niagara in 8th because Police Interceptor is here. So Niagara's in 7th, actually. That was mixed up.
Can you make
Police
it out?
Interceptor is
No.
now in last place. Yeah, looks like Police Interceptor really has been falling apart these past couple of episodes. Mississippi will now be holding that 1st place position. It looks like Toronto might be the one in 2nd here, I would assume. Yes, Toronto just about in 2nd. And that's JTF in 3rd. JTF now screaming it in 3rd. Transit Police in 4th. These cars really want themselves those points. And the 5th place position goes to Russian Police, followed by Philadelphia in 6th and Niagara in 7th. These cars really need those points, but there is no shipping container, I think, here on the beach turn. Well, there is kind of one. Oh, we got a massive pileup once again. All of these cars hitting the beach turn. Unfortunate for them. This beach turn is utterly murderous to the AI. Niagara could recover from this, but no, it looks like all 6 of the cars will unfortunately be getting wrecked here on the beach turn, so they will need some help. Police Interceptor is back now on the road. Mississippi is now in 1st place. Police Interceptor has a decent condition car, but will they hit the beach turn right here? They do hit the beach turn. This beach turn is one of the most menacing parts of this entire tournament. It looks like someone's back on the road. Toronto never quits even when they hit the beach turn. That is amazing for them. Good. So that is good for Toronto, who is now, I believe, in potentially 3rd place. I'm not sure where Police Interceptor is in the lineup. JTF now moving back onto the road. Russian Police doing the same. Looks like Philadelphia Transit, and there's Police Interceptor. And when I said Police Interceptor's on the road, now they're wrecked, idiot. Philadelphia now back on the road. Transit Police now back on the road. These cars have recovered, but they are in very poor condition.
They might be set up for a head-on collision though. Like runners should be rounding around sometime soon.
Mississippi, is that them in the ditch? Mississippi goes into the ditch, so they are out of this round. Unfortunate for them. There's Toronto now going to claim that 1st place position. Here's Niagara as well. So Team Canada moving on ahead to try and get that head-on collision. Potentially.
I can't grab anything. I'm trying to figure out where I'm struggling to get
There's
something.
JTF potentially in 3rd, but where's the runner now as Mississippi makes it back onto the road due to some help from our commentator? Looks like the runner is now about in the around the cliff turn, I would say. Someone needs to get a head-on collision here. They're all not going the correct direction.
Oh, he's still running though. He is
It's almost
still
like
running.
the art of the head-on collision is almost lost on these cars. Police Interceptor might even want to... Yeah, Police Interceptor is turning around to go the other way. It's almost like the art of the head-on collision is gone.
Who's gonna score a point though?
That is a good question. It is now anybody's game as the runner, I assume, is on the long straight. Where is the runner, though? That is a good question. The runner is still going. He's just now getting onto the long straight.
Oh, what is that?
Toronto and JTF are having a bit of a problem. I assume that's JTF. That might be someone. Yeah, that's JTF. JTF pits Toronto into the drink, eliminating some of his competition here in this round. So, yeah, JTF absolutely coming out swinging.
Oh, he's going into the trees. He's going into the trees.
Is going to be hitting is going to be hitting the force at the bottom of the incline. It looks like JTF might have done the same thing. I'm not sure what car that was over in there. No, JTF is still up just behind Niagara. There's Mississippi as well, so I'm not sure what car that was over there going into the forest. That was Philadelphia, in fact, yes. There are a lot of cars that have been wrecked here. It is still anyone's game. The runner is now going right back into the town, and there is essentially no one to contest him and no one to get a head-on collision.
Oh, where are these guys?
That's a good question. Police Interceptor is still stuck just about here, moving ahead, doing what he can. There's Russian police moving ahead. These cars need to be turning around for that head-on collision. The art of the head-on collision is almost lost. Mississippi moves ahead of JTF. Now here, it looks like Mississippi has got a bit of a decent condition car, and I wonder where Transit Police is. Haven't seen them in a bit.
Let's see if any of these guys like are gonna be able to stop him.
Oh, the runner's gonna lap Police Interceptor almost. These cars.
Oh, he gets a hit.
Interceptor goes for the pit maneuver. Police Interceptor gets the pit maneuver. The runner is now going the incorrect other direction. Good job by Police Interceptor, but this now opens it up for a head-on collision. Who is going to survive the beach turn and claim the victory in this round?
Yeah, we just gotta see who's next up in line to get a head-on collision right here, and
That is true, yes. Here's Niagara, but they screw up the beach turn. That is unfortunate for them. They had the round. Here comes the runner. The beach turn is now no longer in the fray, and who is here? Who is this coming along? Is that Mississippi? Mississippi goes for the head-on just before the beach turn. The point is opened up by Police Interceptor, who pits the runner, and Mississippi strikes them in a head-on collision, securing the victory. And JTF here in second is now going off into the drink because he knows that is the end of his time in the tournament. Mississippi claims the points in this final round of the Grand Marshal Grand Tournament of episode 19.
yeah, it looks like Mississippi were getting that point after that very long round with resets included.
Yes, what an incredible round that was. What a finish, ladies and gentlemen. Police Interceptor gets the pit maneuver and opens up the head-on collision potential for Niagara, who misses it due to the beach turn. But Mississippi is there in the second place position, who manages to claim that victory and put himself in that first place position with 14 points.
Yeah, we did talk about how he doesn't need to score a point, but like I guess he had other plans.
That is true, yes. Mississippi, all Mississippi needed to do this episode was keep that first place position secure, and he took that quite literally because he secured himself another point and is now in the first place position with 14 points, putting himself 2 points ahead of Police Interceptor. Niagara Regional Police had a respectable round. I believe that was round, it's noted down here, I think that was 55, the first one. Yeah, 55, the first one. Niagara had a respectable episode. They got themselves 1 point, and they kept themselves safe from elimination, but that was a very unfortunate performance for them. They had the point in the bag, and they screwed up the beach turn like so many before them.
Where is everybody else?
Police Interceptor, who was busted several times, hit the beach turn. It's almost like they're not even the same car they were in the episode where they got all 3 points. But the runner lapped them even, and they drove to the side and managed to get themselves a pit maneuver that opened up, and their tires even busted. They managed to head to the side and get a pit maneuver on the runner that spun the runner out the other direction and basically handed the point to someone. Police Interceptor almost knew they were beat this round and just wanted someone to get the point finally. And yes, Police Interceptor with 12 points is now quite far from first place. He's never been 2 points down from first place. I think he's been pretty much in the lead, or at least 1 point away from the lead throughout the entire tournament. But yeah, he is now 2 points behind Mississippi, and it definitely shows that he's kind of falling apart. Toronto Police, very respectable, good competitor with 4 points, managed to break one tie and get into another this episode. Was almost just completely sabotaged by his steering and by JTF. He was essentially pit maneuvered by JTF into this water. So yeah, very unfortunate round for him. Also unfortunate that something with his rear pillar window, which is not a thing a real Crown Vic has, was like kind of glitching over the water. Yeah, that's unimportant. But yeah, Toronto, very fearsome competitor who managed to take on Mississippi and Police Interceptor head on. Just didn't see JTF coming in his rearview mirror and ended up in the drink this episode because of it. So very unfortunate for him. Russian Police also had a very bad time this episode. The past 2 episodes have not really been his day. And Yeah, he had some chances, but unfortunately wasn't really able to make anything happen this episode. Yeah, unfortunate for him. Transit Police just flipped over somewhere. Yeah, 8 points and not a whole lot to show for it. They definitely need to step up their game in coming episodes. Philadelphia, our newcomer for episode 19, not 18, is just in the forest somewhere. Yeah, they had a really bad time today. This is their first episode, of course, but yeah, they just had a really bad time. What do you think about their performance, Devian?
I think these the beginner's luck is kind of like running out for all these guys because no one is scoring points in their first episodes anymore.
That's true. Yes, it's been a while since someone has scored a point in their first episode. I think the beginner's luck is definitely running out, and it is much more difficult for cars to make an impact. And the final car, hailing from Tom Clancy's division, the Joint Task Force New York City Police car. It was a very admirable and aggressive. It was very admirable and aggressive final round performance, but unfortunately for them, it will not be enough. Especially very cleverly trying to put the shipping container on the road as a roadblock. That was very clever. It was inspired by Police Interceptor sabotage. But yeah, unfortunately for them, all of that cleverness, all of that performance will unfortunately not be enough. They were once the last place champion, and now they're literally in last place because unfortunately JTF will now be eliminated from the tournament.
Yeah, he also wrecked Toronto into the river trying to get a point in this round. Quite some aggressive moves, if I can say so myself.
Indeed, yes. JTF tried to step up their game in the last episode, but it was just unfortunately not enough for them. That was an interesting strategy from Police Interceptor partway through the run, where they tried to sabotage the other cars by hitting the shipping container in just the right way for all of the other cars to strike it. And it definitely did not pay off for him, clearly.
Yeah, so it looks like Mississippi were getting the point for this round and getting 2 points in this episode.
Indeed, yes. Mississippi stepping up their game, really wanting to break that tie between themselves and Police Interceptor will now be in the lead with 14 points. In any event, that is it. My name is UsernameHere, joined by my co-commentator Devion. That is it for episode number 19. We hope to see you in the next one. But in the meantime, we hope you have a very good day.